Hello guys, welcome to this channel. Today I'm going to rank all 4 Thor movies with Thor Love and Thunder. Now that it's out, well, it's been out for a while, but I was at camp when it came out, and I didn't have time to see it during intercession. So I saw it just recently, about a few days ago from now. So I already reviewed it, and today I'm giving my ranking of all 4 Thor movies. Had a bit of issues getting videos out because I've had a lot going on lately. So not much to say, but I think we can just get right started into it. I'm gonna release a full-on video schedule. I don't know if I'm gonna do it before or after, because I do actually have a lot to talk about, but I'm not gonna really do it in this video because I think I've come up with the schedule finally. So yeah, let's get started. Coming in last place is Thor: The Dark World. Come on, Feige, could you not make Malekith a bit more of an interesting villain? Could the color palette have been a little bit brighter? Did you have to focus on Earth as much? Could Odin not do such actions that are devoid of logic, like him just wanting to send people after Thor for no reason? There's just a lot of things that I feel like are devoid of logic. Just Jane getting the ether stuck in her doesn't make much sense. Even though the plot is supposed to be straightforward, it's like confusing at times because you don't really know what's going on half the time, because there's this portal thing that's just heard of that appears out of nowhere, and then, well, not, but then the ether somehow is there. She gets her, and then somehow it's found by her after who knows how many years, and then it just kicks off. She goes to Asgard, they try to cure her, and then the second half is a little bit better. I like the Loki stuff. I think Loki is a really fun character. He's definitely the best part of the movie. And I think the final battle, I think it's fun with all the portal hopping, but it's still kind of a dull action sequence because the rest of the movie was dull. By far the most forgettable MC movie. I don't even really remember the plot that well, and I didn't watch it that long ago. I watched it and I was binging all the other MCU movies for my MCU movies rank that came out back in May or June or whatever. So I don't know. I just don't really care for this one, honestly. Malekith is a very forgettable villain. I think he's the worst of any of the title villains in the franchise. You can't really differentiate from all the other Dark Elves because all we know, he wants the ether, and then he wants to, with the ether, he wants to do this sort of thing. And also, he's a Dark Elf, but that's defaulted. That's not really a character trait. That's like, that doesn't matter. I think in general, Chris Hemsworth is still pretty good. Anthony Hopkins and Renee Russo are still good as Thor's parents. And I think the death of Thor's mother was actually handled very well. That was actually a well-handled scene. I think bringing back the Warriors 3 and the Lady Sif, they weren't as good in this movie because they were a lot of fun in the first one. This one, they're just there. I feel like they're just there half the time. So it's just like 2 hours. I mean, it's not a long movie, so like once it's done, I'm like, okay, now I can go play Fortnite again, which that actually didn't happen when I was watching it. So, overall, don't care for this one. Coming in number 3 is going to be Thor: Love and Thunder. I would say this one is a fun movie. I think that's what edges this one over Dark World, because this one has a lot more, I'd say, issues than Dark World, but the main thing that really just holds this one up above a bunch of others, I actually had a great time with it in the theater. It was fun. I enjoyed it, but that does not keep me from thinking about all of its issues. First one, Thor's just a parody of himself at this point. He literally is doing split kicks, doing a bunch of other things. Some of it was kind of funny. I think when the Korg's talking about it, it's actually pretty funny, but they just didn't take it seriously enough. The Guardians of the Galaxy are not present enough. And also mixed in with Thor being in the movie being a Thor parody of himself, you have Gore the God Butcher and just his themes about that all gods should die, and also brings up a little theme that should we trust our gods? Should we trust the things that we look up to? I mean, raises some questions, because why, I mean, if we're looking up for such a perfect world, why is there evil in this world? Why did COVID happen? It actually brings up some interesting questions, and they could have done that really well, but Thor's doing split kicks over there, so just like, come on. And also Jane having cancer, like that just does not fit in. And the way she became Thor just doesn't make sense. Thor literally says, "Protect Jane Foster," and then Hammer is ready for her. It's calling to her. It just so essentially he could just say that to anyone, for anyone. It just devoid the logic. Second, and also the eternity thing. It can grant any wish, but I mean, it just doesn't make that much sense. So a lot of things I feel like in this movie are just devoid of logic. But at the same time, I think Natalie Portman did do a good job as Jane Foster. This is by far her best outing as this character. Where in the first one, I think she was okay. Second one, I thought she was not a very good character. This one, she got way better. And I think you buy into the love story between her and Thor. And I think the fact that she died in the end actually worked pretty well when it comes to Thor's arc. But they shouldn't have given him the child. That just doesn't make sense. Gore the God Butcher, I think he makes for a good villain, just not put in the right movie. I think if he was in a bit more of a serious movie, he could have worked. Christian Bale, not the best casting, but I think he did pretty good in the role. And it's fun to have Christian Bale in the MCU, so I like that side of it. I think all the characters are pretty fun. Thor, I think Chris Hemsworth still does a great job with the comedic timing. Natalie Portman's good. Tessa Thompson as Valkyrie's still always great. Taika Waititi voicing Korg is always fun. Korg, I feel like, is a little bit more annoying in this one because he keeps messing things up. I still think he's a fun character because it's Korg. And then Zeus's lightning bolt was weird. I think the Zeus character and all the gods in general are literally just played for jokes, and it just, come on. This movie could have been really good. I was very excited. I like the soundtrack because I like Guns N' Roses. It's not my favorite rock band out there. It's no Led Zeppelin or AC/DC or Van Halen. I could go on. Overall, I enjoyed it. It was fun. I wish we got more of the Guardians of the Galaxy. That was a very disappointing thing. I was excited to see Thor in the Guardians of the Galaxy because they were promoted a lot in the first trailer, but they're literally only in the first 10 to 20 minutes of the movie. And I think the children's side of it, where Thor just gives the children the powers just to help him for the final battle, he could essentially just help. That could have helped him in Infinity War. He couldn't have just done that in Infinity War. They would have stopped Thanos for sure, no matter how many Infinity Stones that guy has. There's just, I have a nitpick at this point, but when you dive into this movie and think about all of its problems, it does weigh the movie down a lot. But I'm rambling. I can go on and on. Coming in number two is going to be the original Thor. I actually do enjoy this one. For compared to some of the other ones, some people put this one very low. Honestly, I actually enjoy it. I have a good time with it. I think the Earth stuff, it does drag it down a bit because it does feel like a bit of a movie swap as you get to Earth. It just changed tones from Shakespearean grandeur sort of type thing with Asgard to rom-com to buddy comedy on Earth. And it just, the two don't really mesh well together. And also it doesn't really age well because I feel like a lot of the things in this movie, compared to a lot of other ones, there's much more hijinks as the MCU goes on. And even in the Thor franchise, I'd say there's way more hijinks than there is in this movie. So, overall, it's one I do enjoy. I love the Shakespearean grandeur that's on Asgard, that Kenneth Branagh laid the foundation. And casting people like Rene Russo and Anthony Hopkins, some legacy actors that have been in some movies that I absolutely love, for Anthony Hopkins, you have Hannibal Lecter stuff, and then Rene Russo's in the Thomas Crown Affairs. That's one I really enjoy. Overall, I do really enjoy this one. I have a fun time with it. I think Chris Hemsworth and Tom Hiddleston they're B-listers or C-listers. I know Hemsworth is probably B-lister at the time. They make for great characters, and they've gotten better in the roles as the MCU has gone on. Laufey, don't care for him. The Earth characters are fine in this one. Darcy, I think, is really annoying, but I think Selvig and Natalie and Jane Foster work pretty well in this one. So I do enjoy this movie. It is fun. It's just a bit mundane compared to a lot of the MCU, and I think by the time you get to the end, because Loki doesn't really stand a chance against Thor. Just doesn't have much weight on it because Thor's gonna win, and Loki faking his death first of many times. After you watch it, you just don't feel any weight for that sequence. But enjoy it. Anthony Hopkins, Rene Russo, great. I think Chris Hemsworth is pretty good in the role as it goes on. And I think Thor's character arc as he learns humility as the movie goes on. Because he was like Tony at the beginning. He was kind of insufferable. But as the movie went on, he started to change. And I think that change, it doesn't feel it feels gradual as it goes on. And I think that works. Coming in at number one, by far, is Thor Ragnarok. Thor is top of the C tier, bottom of the B tier. And Ragnarok's top of the A tier. Overall, one of the most entertaining and fun MCU movies. Definitely the funniest, in my opinion. Overall, the sort of liveliness and bright colors palette are added there. And the Grandmaster. I think the Grandmaster, very fun character. Jeff Goldblum brings so much energy into the mix. I think the exclusion of the Earth characters worked actually pretty well for itself. Chris Hemsworth has impeccable comedic timing. Tom Hiddleston is better than ever as Loki. I think I can't think of the actress's name that plays Hela, but she does a good job. Not the best villain out there. I think her motivation works for what it is. She's just not the best villain. She's like sort of a template kind of villain. Just it's like taken to the next one, like Obadiah Stane to the next level, but not the same exactly. You know, if you know what I mean. So overall, really enjoyed this. I think the middle section's very fun with the Hulk fights. I love that element of it. Loki, this is him at his best, obviously. I think the introduction of Tessa Thompson as Valkyrie works very well. There's some small themes on what do we consider home that works very well. Thor, I think this is where he kind of finally completed his arc from learning who he is. And this is sort of like when he realizes that. I love the use of the immigrant song, and it doesn't feel like it takes away from moments. There are some moments here and there, like at the beginning, where humor bits that take away from the tension. Like at the beginning, they do this, but they're actually funny. And at the end with the Hulk, there's some moments here and there, but I think the use of the immigrant song makes me forget about that. It just it's one of my favorite Led Zeppelin songs, and I'm a bit of a Led Zeppelin fan, so. I mean, you could tell I like rock music. Yeah, that's like what I listen to. That and metal. There you go. You've learned more about me. As I said, Jeff Goldblum was great in the role as the Grand Master. I'm not gonna make that mistake again. I think some of the sets are pretty fun. I love the whole Hulk and Thor fight sequence. I love what they do with the Hulk here. There's some jokes thrown in for no reason, like the one where he just falls out of the little ship. I mean, it's not really thrown there for no reason. It's still kind of fun, but yeah, I'm going on. So I really enjoy this movie. It's very fun, very entertaining. This is probably the most rewatchable MC movie from the day I saw it in the Polar Vortex in 2018. Or, I mean, not 2020, 2018, 2019. I don't know why I still remember this. I've enjoyed it ever since, and I love to go back and watch this movie every once in a while. Very fun, very enjoyable. I love it. That concludes this ranking. I don't know if I missed anything that I wasn't gonna say. A schedule is gonna come out either before or after this. I'm not sure yet. RCT3 videos are gonna be coming back. Unfortunately, my park did delete, so I'm gonna have to restart. But I'm off camera. I'm gonna be working on it a bit. Planet Coaster, I'm completely restarting it because the park just didn't turn out how I wanted it to so far. So I'm just gonna completely restart that one. This one, I am trying to replicate. I'm not gonna replicate it, but I'm gonna add some new areas, like a desert area. That's what I've been doing. Just some updates on there. You don't really have to focus on. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. If you stuck till the end, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. You can hit the like button if you want. You can subscribe. You can enjoy. You can comment. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and comment down below. And I'll see you guys next time. Adios.